Hello everyone, welcome back to My Left Eye. There's been an interesting development in the Julian Assange case that could be a positive step. The Wiki-leaks founder who was imprisoned for exposing war crimes during the Iraq occupation was set to be extradited to the United States for trial. However, a UK court has now ruled that guarantees, including that Assange will not receive the death penalty if convicted, must be made before a decision on when he can appeal will be taken. Let's see what's happening. So in this article from the BBC, it says that the court has adjourned its decision by 3 weeks to give the US government time to comply. US authorities say that the WikiLeaks founder endangered lives by publishing thousands of classified documents. His lawyers have argued that this case is a form of state retaliation. In a High Court judgment on Tuesday, Dame Victoria Sharp and Mr Justice Johnson said that Mr Assange will be able to bring an appeal on 3 grounds unless assurances were given by the United States. The assurances are that the 52-year-old would be protected by and allowed to rely on the First Amendment, which protects freedom of speech in the United States, that he would not be prejudiced at trial due to his nationality, and that he would not face the death penalty if he is convicted. Dame Victoria said, if assurances are not given, then we will grant leave to appeal without a further hearing. If assurances are given, then we will give the parties an opportunity to make further submissions before we can make a final decision on the application for leave to appeal. If his latest appeal is not granted, Mr Assange will have exhausted all of his legal avenues in the UK. His remaining option would be to take his case to the European Court of Human Rights. Speaking to the crowd gathered outside the court, his wife Stella Assange described her husband as a political prisoner, and she urged US President Joe Biden's administration not to submit assurances and instead to drop this shameful case. During February's hearing, Mr Assange's legal team argued that he was being targeted for his exposure of state-level crimes and his punishment was politically motivated. Mr Assange's lawyers say he faces up to 175 years in jail if he's convicted, but the US government has previously said a sentence between 4 and 6 years is more likely. He did not attend the court hearing in February due to ill health. Ahead of the hearing, Mrs Assange said she feared for her husband's safety if he was extradited. The case will determine if he lives or dies, essentially, she told the BBC. In 2021, the High Court ruled that Mr Assange could be extradited, rejecting claims that poor mental health meant he risked taking his own life in a US jail. The UK Supreme Court upheld the decision, and the then Home Secretary Priti Patel confirmed the extradition order in 2022. His lawyers took the case to the European Court of Human Rights in the same year, but it was dismissed without a hearing. Australia's Parliament has passed a motion calling on the UK and US to release Mr Assange, though this has no legal bearing on either government. So let's hope that these conditions for the extradition can be met by the US. This would obviously be a great relief for Julian and his wife Stella if the death sentence was ruled out, something that Stella has been worried about for a long time. I've had the pleasure of meeting with her and campaigning with her a few times. She's very passionate in her campaign to get Julian released. He is being targeted politically just for exposing war crimes of the United States. And if we truly do have a free press, then cases like this shouldn't happen in the first place. Nobody should be persecuted simply for telling the truth. The occupation of Iraq carried out by the United States and the UK killed some 2 million civilians. All Julian did was expose war crimes carried out by the military, and the truth must be heard. But let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think that these conditions for extradition will be met by the US, or do you think that this trial could be dragged out even further? Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. We've also now got the membership program open with some great perks for you to enjoy starting from just 99p. Hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My Left Eye will be seeing you soon.